Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back. This is a very special episode 11 of Inside the Numbers. I'm Hunter Aschenbrenner, joined by Jake Auerbach. In a couple moments, we're going to be joined by a very special guest. You'll see who that is. We're going to be talking Giants, Yankees, Knicks, a lot of sports. Very excited for this, and let's get into it, right?
Yeah, I've been looking forward to this episode for a while, and this is going to be an exciting episode, so it'll be fun.
Yep, let's do it. Ladies and gentlemen, we are joined by content creator Alex Day. You might see him all over your TikTok interviewing superstar athletes. Alex, thank you so much for joining us, and how are you doing today?
Thank you, guys. I'm doing great. I'm doing great. The big Knicks win last night. Yanks are
Yeah,
playing well. Giants had a good draft. I see some Ranger stuff behind Jake. So
Yeah.
yeah, everything's doing well.
yeah, for sure. You were in Pittsburgh for the draft, I saw. So how was that experience? And then we'll get into that.
It was great. It was great. I love going to the draft. I think you have to be such a diehard fan to go to the draft that you meet so many salt of the earth football fans there. And this was my, I believe, fourth draft I've covered. I was there in Kansas City, Vegas, Detroit, and it's a really fun experience. So getting to cover another draft in a great football town like Pittsburgh, and then being able to interview Francis Noah for the Giants the night of him getting drafted by the Giants and really doing the first interview that he did with the organization was really cool, and it seemed like it was well received. So great experience, and it's also like 90 degrees, and it was nice to get in the sun too. Who would have
hmm
thought Pittsburgh in April?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the Giants drafted Arvel Reese at 5, who I wanted as a Jets fan, and then Francis Noah as 10 as you mentioned. Those were obviously the two main picks, and then Colton Hood at 37. What were your thoughts on their overall draft? Did Shane and Harbaugh come away with what they needed?
I thought it was a home run. Like, I didn't think Arvell Reese was going to be there. And I know if you told a lot of Giants fans before the draft, hey, you could have had Sonny Styles and Caleb Downs, everyone would sign up for that. But that was before Arvell Reese was available. And, he clearly said he was an edge because he wants to get paid like an edge. And I get it. And he might turn into a great edge rusher. But having him as the weak side linebacker next to Tremaine Edmonds, being on the field as with Carter and Burns at the same time, it's going to be lethal. So I love that pick. Maui Noah, you know, his ability to kick into guard is going to be huge because it doesn't matter who your wide receivers are. If you can't protect the quarterback, you can't do anything. So many Giant seasons have been plagued by bad offensive line play. It was actually pretty good last year. They were also pretty healthy last year. So they have no interior offensive lineman signed beyond next year. I think this was a really smart pick. And I didn't know too much about Hood, but I was in favor of taking a DB there. I was thinking either defensive tackle or DB. And then the wide receiver they got in the third round, I thought they gave up a lot to go up
Yeah.
and get him. But I like the player because so many of the wide receivers the Giants have been on the smaller and faster side. Hey, let's get a big body, give Dart a big target since he is a risk taker and likes to throw it up for guys. Let's go and get a guy who can go up and make contested catches. So I think solid A range grade for the Giants in the draft, but we'll have to see how it plays out. We're
Yeah.
talking about
Yeah.
a draft, and you never know how it's going to turn out.
Yeah, for sure.
So being honest, I didn't like the Arvell Reese pick at the time. It's grown
Sorry, my
on me a
dog's
bit.
over here.
You're good. It's grown on me a bit, just from seeing highlights and seeing how many ways the Giants can use him. But do you really think it was worth it if he's going to play a weak side linebacker? Do you really think it's worth taking a linebacker at 5 if it's not Sonny Styles? I mean,
Yeah, I do because I think a major need for the Giants is a run defense, and Arvell Reese helps in that too.
Oh yeah.
And you're talking about, Sonny Styles is an entirely off-ball linebacker. Arvell Reese is both. He's versatile. So
yeah,
yeah, I do think it's worth it. And the combination of him being able to spy a quarterback or be active in the run game or rush the passer, uh, he's going to be a weapon. Think about what a Patrick Queen
yeah,
did for the Ravens defense for John Harbaugh or linebackers like that. So yeah, I think he's the best defender in the draft. So you take a guy like that and figure it out after, and I believe it was a need.
Yeah, you see those clips of him like just throwing offensive linemen to the side.
Shedding.
Like, yeah, his hands are just like ridiculously strong. And I feel like after the Dexter Lawrence trade, even though he is a linebacker, and at the time I was like, if you're going to take a linebacker, take Styles. If you're going to take a guard, take Vega. But if you're going to get rid of Dexter Lawrence, which they did, you're going to need all these edge rushers and linebackers to be able to attack the quarterback. And they've got incredible depth there now with him, Kayvon, Carter, Burns, like so many guys that can just attack the quarterback at will.
Yeah, you're not going to be able to replace a guy like Dexter with one player, especially one defensive tackle. I think Dexy is the best defensive tackle in the game. But if you want to try to find ways to get creative, it's getting guys like Arvell Reese who can help at the second level. The Giants are going to have to sign. They just signed Shelby Harris today. Some patchwork defensive tackles who can just clog it up and help in the run game. Let the edge rushers go to work in the passing game. But yeah, I think Arvell Reese is just going to be such a jack of all trades guy that, yeah, you'll be able to blitz with him on third down. But, think about how many mobile quarterbacks are in the game right now. How many dual threat? More quarterbacks are dual threat than not. So
yeah, for sure.
You have a guy like Arvell Reese who on first or second down can kind of hang near the line of scrimmage. You can send him on a delayed blitz. If he can go shoot out beyond the tackles and make a play in the run game, he could run down a Jalen Hurts, a Jaden Daniels. These are guys in the NFC East. So the Giants need playmakers and they need speed. And he ran a sub 4.5 as a linebacker. Sign me up. Sign me up.
So, we'll see what happens with Reese. Obviously, I'm not going to root against him, obviously. But I'm just not a huge fan of the pick, but hopefully he can become that.
Who would you have taken?
I think my biggest want was trading down and then to like 9 or 10, or we had 10, but trading down, having those back-to-back picks and taking like Caleb Downs and then taking Maui Noah at 10.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I would have been happy. I think there was a bigger question about who to take at 10 versus who to take at 5.
Yeah, I mean, Reese was the best player available. He wasn't supposed to fall at 5, so I don't mind the pick. Looking back on it now, I was just
I was definitely surprised.
Yeah.
Because, we went into it not thinking he was going to be available. So it felt there were a couple of other names who felt more obvious, but that's because we didn't think Reese was going to be there.
Exactly. So
yeah.
I have a question about Francis Maui Noah now. I've been a Miami fan for the last 3 years. Watching Maui Noah, he's just a monster. Like, I love the pick. I've seen everyone wanting to kick him inside to right guard. I thought about it the other day. Would it be a terrible idea, in your opinion, to keep him at right tackle and move Jermaine Illuminor to right guard? He has experience in the NFL playing right guard. Maui Noah has played right tackle his whole career. So for the future, I think that might be the better option. But, I mean, I think both are pretty good options.
Jake, it's a great point. I've thought about that a lot too, because I think it's easier for a veteran to be able to slide and move positions, especially a guy like Illuminor who has done that, opposed to a rookie learning an NFL system plus learning a new position. And they've talked about, hey, maybe down the line they'll move Maui Noah out to tackle. I'm actually with you on that. I think, I know they just paid Illuminor and they paid him like a tackle, but yeah, I don't know. I feel like they have come out and said it already, which I was a little surprised about. But hey, maybe they go back and change their mind. And I've also seen a lot of draft experts say that Maui Noah might profile more as a guard. But all I know is I stood next to him, and he's a massive dude. Like he's just gigantic. So I do feel like he's kind of built more like a tackle. You've seen more Maui Noah games than I have, but I feel like he is built more like a tackle.
Yeah, it's a good problem to have. I think they're both going to be really good. I think it's a great duo on the right side, no matter who's where. But I think a tackle duo for the next, hopefully, 7 to 10 years of Andrew Thomas and Francis Mauigoa. Sign me up.
Sign me up. Sign me up. Just need to stay healthy. Just
Yeah.
need to stay healthy.
Yeah, I feel like the biggest thing just who the Giants passed on was Downs, of course, and how Harbaugh loves his Hall of Fame safeties, and Downs seems like he's next in line to do that. And now you've got to face him in Dallas for the next decade. But
Sucks.
yeah, it does, and of course Styles too in Washington
Yeah, I think the Downs one hurts more than
for
Styles.
sure because
Like,
you got Reese.
your take. Yeah, Reese over Styles, in my opinion, is an obvious pick. They passed on Downs twice, and there is a real case to be made that, I kind of, right as the 10th pick was starting, I said, I want Downs, but I'd be really happy with Maui Noah. I don't know if any of these other picks would make me happy. That's kind of how I felt right before the pick. So, yeah, it's going to hurt. And it kind of is shades of Micah Parsons in the sense that when the Cowboys drafted Micah Parsons, the Giants were right there. They could have taken him, and the Giants chose to trade back. And they could have taken Parsons. They could have taken Rashawn Slater, the offensive lineman for the Chargers, who's all pro. Instead, they traded back and took Kadarius Toney. So, I would say this is far less of a cute move as that was. But I really think come September, come October, we're going to be happy with the Maui Noah pick. It's all about Dart, right?
Yeah.
The whole game, the whole sport is about your quarterback. Let's be honest here. And the Giants have a young quarterback who has had trouble staying healthy, and we want to run the ball. And, even if the defense is going to be a little bit behind the offense, we have to help Dart. It comes down to that. So it's not a sexy pick, but I think it's the pick that will look ahead and feel really comfortable and glad that we made months before.
Yeah, and obviously Dart is the most precious asset in the entire organization. Like
By far.
Yeah, you can't win without a quarterback, but you can win with a quarterback and not much else. Like all the time. I mean, the Giants, you could build this awesome roster. The Jets just built an awesome roster pretty much, but they've got Geno, so they're probably not going to win many games. I have some hope. But
let's pump the brakes, Hunter, on the awesome roster. You guys are you have the vision of an awesome roster.
Yeah, I love what they did on draft night, but it's not going to matter until next year's class.
Hunter, what you need, Hunter, and I'll work with you to invent this. You need a big button that is a fast forward button. You need to simulate the season and get to this time next year.
Exactly.
Where hopefully your guys are healthy. You add a couple more draft picks, and you have a quarterback. Maybe you have a new coach too.
Arch and Tomlin, 2027.
There
it is.
That would be exciting.
Sign me up. It'd be pretty freaking awesome.
How many games did the Jets win last year?
4.
Or the year before
right. 4. It's going to be what, 5 or 6 this year at most.
Right. Without a quarterback and winning 4 games. Let's pump the brakes for now, Hunter. But this time next year, I'll be excited for you. I will be.
I appreciate that. But yeah, it's the main point though. If the Giants had the Jets roster, they're easily winning 11 games. The roster around the quarterback, it's easily going to be a very good team. You think
the Jets roster around the quarterback is better than the Giants?
No. I think the Jets would be. I think the Giants could win with both rosters. I don't think the Jets could win with either, even with Geno.
Yeah. No, I see what you're saying.
That you don't need the elite talent around with everything on defense, offense that the Giants have when you have Dart. Totally.
No, I agree with you on that. And Dart has shown glimpses of
for sure
being special. It's really early and remains to be seen. And yes, to win more games, and so much of that is not his fault, but he's shown glimpses that he can carry a team to being competitive, which the Giants were for a lot of the year, even if they lost 6 games in the most unimaginably horrific ways.
I mean, the defense last year was, until they fired Shane Bowen, the defense was one of the worst in the league, and the fact that we were competitive.
And it was bad after Shane Bowen too.
Yeah, but
Yeah, but I think, and a lot of that was culture, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's enough football. I want to get into the huge win last night at the Garden. I saw
Oh,
you were
yeah.
outside on 7th Ave. I was there after game one. It was awesome. I feel like the Knicks needed that wake up call with the game 2 and 3 losses. And you saw in 4 and 5, they've absolutely dominated.
Yeah, I think it's even bigger than that, where after game three, we're talking about the Knicks being 2 losses away from some very uncomfortable
Yes,
conversations.
it's Mike
Like,
Brown's gone,
we,
the core's
it's
gone.
Mike Brown, correct. Um, but not only have they played better, especially on the defensive end,
Oh
but
yeah,
this is a team that even going into the playoffs, I felt really didn't have an identity. Like, they talk about what they want their identity to be, but what is this Knicks team's
yeah,
identity? And in games 4 and 5, I really feel like they found their identity on the offensive side of the floor.
hmm
And that is the offense going through Cat. Now,
exactly,
what's exciting about that is it means Brunson's still getting his touches and he's still
exactly.
getting his in a much more efficient way. But if there's a couple things. Brunson having the ball in the first half of the shot clock probably means there's less of a chance of Cat getting the ball later in the possession, and vice versa. Brunson is still getting his when
hmm
the offense is flowing through Cat, whether it's in the block or at the top of the key. And the other part is if Brunson is handling the ball less, which I know he's the most ball dominant guard in the league or top three,
Yeah,
that takes a lot out of you, especially in playoff basketball, where they're picking up your guy for 94 feet. Look how fresh Brunson was in the fourth quarter
yeah.
last night.
17 in the fourth.
Oh, he was dominant.
He
He
slammed
was
the
he was
door.
percolating. He slammed the door. So having someone else bring the ball up and, Cat making a lot of those reads. We saw even some two-man game between Cat and Hart. Or hey, if they bring the double to Cat, he can dish it and make the open read, and the ball swings around. And hey, look at that! Jalen Brunson has the ball in his hands with a wide open three. Now, now we're talking here, and Cat is a mismatch, but it's also on him to make the right reads or be aggressive when he needs to with a smaller guy on him, and he's really done that the last 2 games.
Yeah, I was just gonna say with Cat watching last night how he's like when he's playing confident like last night, and he's like there's nobody that can stop him underneath the rim. He's what 7 foot 7'1", and he's all the talent in the world. He goes to the rim easy and one, or he's at the top of the key. He'll either shoot a 30-footer or rip a pass to OG for a dunk. Like if he's playing that aggressive and confidently, it does wonders for the Knicks on offense at least.
Yeah, completely. And I I've been calling for this for the whole year. I think every Knicks fan has.
Yeah,
So um, a lot of jobs may have been saved with how the Knicks played over the past
for
week.
sure.
But with that being said, the
Finish it out.
expectation is still the same as it was before the season. And if you're going to fire Tibbs after going to the Eastern Conference Finals, then the expectation is you need to get to the finals.
hmm
And in a year where the Pacers are not in it, this Knicks team is built to beat the Celtics. The Pistons are struggling with the Magic. We'll see if they get out of that series. I'm not scared of the Cavs. Got to get out of the East.
Yeah.
It's still
Raptors we all wanted before
no,
the
no,
before the
no.
playoffs.
Yeah. Give me the Raptors, please.
Exactly.
Like
I'd be fine.
so, totally. So it's an exciting time, and you know, I just can't believe how much a week has changed because a week ago after Game
It
Three,
was Panic City.
I was, it was, yeah, I was hitting the panic button.
Yeah, for sure. Everyone was. It was like, I mean, look, they lost game 2 and 3 by a combined 2 points each. Like, it didn't really even after game two when they collapsed in the fourth. And I want to make a point on that after. It didn't feel to me that like there was actually a chance they'd lose the series. But then after game 3 where they were down 20 like all night and then just came back and then gave it up again, it actually like felt like are they actually going to lose to such a like lesser team than them in the Hawks?
And Hunter, the body language was bad. Was
Horrible.
was really bad. So uh, the bad defense and the bad body language and letting CJ McCollum cook you in the half
Walk all
court.
over you.
Yeah, like CJ McCollum's always been a great player and a fantastic shooter,
Yep.
but he shouldn't be cooking you in the half court off the dribble like that. So they tightened up on defense, and The body language looks a lot better, and gotta get the big man involved. You have to get the big man involved.
Yeah, the defensive intensity since the start of Game 4 has been there. The one thing that just scares me with this core is like I don't feel like they have that like killer instinct. Like with Game 1
Nope.
versus the Pacers last year, where they took their foot off the gas. Game 2 this year, like it doesn't feel like it's like when they're up 15 with 8 minutes left. It should feel like it's over. Good night. We'll see you next game. It doesn't with this team, and that's what scares me as we move forward.
Totally. I think last night, it got to around maybe 10 to 12 points in the fourth quarter, but
And
Brunson
you're starting
caught
to think,
fire.
like, is this really,
Starting to
is it
think,
going to
right.
happen again?
So while I totally agree with you, I liked what I saw in the last two fourth quarters. But yeah, that's Hunter. It's the elephant in the room for sure,
Yeah,
because
exactly.
between exercising those demons from game one against the Pacers last year to how they blew that game earlier in the series this year. Yeah, yeah. I mean, the Yankees don't win 5 World Series without Mariano Rivera. They don't.
Hmm. Yeah, it's when I was in the building for game one and they were crushing them all night, there was like no stress. When it got to that fourth quarter and the Hawks went on a little run with about 4 minutes left, it went like silent and everyone started to think like it's going to happen again.
Everyone's thinking
We're
it,
we're
and
going
the
back to this
players
again.
too.
Exactly. Like there's no one in orange and blue that like knows what to do when it starts to happen.
Yeah, and I think the frustrating part about that is this team is experienced, and
So
Cat has been to all
experienced.
these conference finals. I mean, the Knicks core of Villanova guys has been doing this for 10 years together
Yeah.
between Hart and Brunson and Bridges for a lot of that too. So they they shouldn't be feeling that way with the amount of experience that they have. That's the confusing part.
Yeah. They got a big game 6 tomorrow. Close this out. Don't let it come back. And
Do
then
not.
likely move on to Boston, but hoping Philly advances that to game 7.
I hope it goes to 7. Boston is better than Philly by a
For
lot.
sure.
But
But I feel
but
like Philly
but
scares me more because of Embiid.
Philly scares me more because of their backcourt. Because I don't think the
Yes.
Knicks have anyone nearly as athletic as the duo of Maxey and Edgecombe. And we saw that in the regular season. Those guys get the ball with a little bit of space in the half court, and we can't stop those guys.
Hmm.
Embiid, I'm fine with Embiid. We've, put Mitch on him, and it's over. This Knicks team was built to beat the Celtics, and they
Exactly.
beat them last year. And the Celtics are so reliant on the 3-point shot. That's a beatable team in the playoffs. I would rather face the Sixers because they have far less talent, but I do think the Knicks match up personnel wise better with the Celtics than the Sixers.
Yeah, Embiid just scares me because of him playing dirty like he did 2 years ago. Like he
Of
took out
course,
Mitch. Like
that was goon
it
shit.
was
It
terrible.
was. Yeah.
But now I want to switch over to the Yankees. They've won 10 out of 11. They trail the Rangers right now. Um, is this team like different? And it's the pitching that I keep going back to. Are they like Yankees good, like we see every year, where they'll win mid 90 game and then something's gonna fall apart in October, or like they're gonna get Cole and Rodon back? They already got 2, maybe even 3 aces already. And if that offense can just keep on hitting, it's a special squad.
Yeah, it's feeling different right now, but also they haven't had the craziest tests yet. But what the
Yep.
biggest differentiator is the starting pitching. And the bullpen hasn't even been great. But this rotation that has the best ERA in baseball is still about to get Cole and Rodon back. Rodon, I believe, has 2 or 3 more rehab starts. Cole a little bit behind him. They had Elmer Rodriguez throw today. He pitched pretty well. This rotation is nasty. And
Yeah.
I made a prediction at the beginning of the year on the John Jastrzemski New York pod that by the end of the year, Cam Schlittler will be the best starting pitcher for the Yankees. So far, that's proven to
It's looking
be
pretty good.
pretty good. I wish I put my money where my mouth is. I'm not going to
Yeah.
lie. I did not bet that, but it was something I felt and still feel. So hopefully that continues. Hopefully, once those guys come back, other guys at who are in the back end of the rotation could then go to the bullpen and help out
Yep.
the bullpen. Uh, this is kind of the first time where the lineup feels like, hey, we don't miss Soto. You know,
Yep. Yep.
like
Exactly.
Ben Rice, what Ben Rice is doing behind Judge from the left-handed side of the plate is Soto-esque. There's, it's in that caliber and that tier. And I think last year the Yankees replaced the loss of Soto hitting 40 homers by, hey, Bellinger here and Jazz here, and we're going to piece it together. But this is like an actual Batman and Robin. So there's still more I would like to see from the lineup in terms of approach, where I would like to see a little bit more bat to ball. And there have been games where we have seen that. And we've seen a lot more stolen bases this year and, fewer strikeouts. But I think they could even go a little bit further in that direction of bat to ball and taking the extra base and, playing baseball. Baseball is meant to be played, not just out slugging.
Yeah, Jake's smiling as a Mets fan with Soto.
The biggest issue with this team is the bullpen right now, but I don't think it's too much of a concern because, like you said, Alex, they're getting they're getting Cole and Rodon to the rotation soon. That'll kick either Weathers, maybe Warren to the bullpen, which will help. And then the trade deadline, you can expect them to add a couple arms. I know it's
at
only
least
April, but
they always make their
Always
bullpen
do.
moves in the middle of the year, not the offseason. Yeah, totally.
so I think that'll help. But it's a little concerning right now. Bednar has struggled a little bit, but I don't think even at his peak, I don't know if he's a guy like that you can really, truly like. He's not like a true shutdown playoff closer, I wouldn't say.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's a very good closer.
Yeah.
But he's not. There are only a couple guys who are better than him.
No, obviously.
We all want a Diaz. Not all of us have a Diaz. All three of us don't have a Diaz. So, yeah, I think I don't feel totally confident when he comes in, but I think he is pretty good. And guys like Doval, I'm starting to warm up to a little bit. I don't feel great, but if only we could just clone Tim Hill,
Exactly. He's so automatic.
Just comes in and throws
82 mile an hour fastball just gets everybody ground out.
Spotting.
Yep. Yeah, it's just when I go back to Bednar and people bring that up, there's not many like lockdown closers in the league anymore. It's like Duran or Diaz, and everyone else is just in that category of just you like them, but they're not going to be locked down. And then Carlos Legrande, I see coming up in the summer and hopefully making an impact. I don't worry about the bullpen because it's so easy to fix. Look, last year I felt so confident about that, and they were like the 20th best bullpen in baseball.
Yeah, I mean, I'm curious to see what it looks like over the summer, but I just don't want them to be too late making those moves where, everyone was clamoring for Devin Williams to be out of the closer role in May, and they didn't do that until like July, August, and then you lose the division by a couple games, pretty much a difference of having Williams be your closer or not. So, I would just like them to be proactive about that before the trade deadline.
All right, and then we will close this out with some trivia that I want to base it off basically your videos. Who's your favorite Yankee of all time?
Jeter. Yeah, I grew up with Jeter. That's my guy. Haven't interviewed him though.
And then I know you're big for your high school stats with the players. I was looking for yours and your teammates. I couldn't find it, though. So I'll go back to when you started Bar Talk. Do you remember your first topic question that it was?
Wow. I have a pretty good feeling that it was quarterback related. It was it like maybe which quarterback would you rather have in their prime or 2-minute drill?
From what I could find, it was which baseball player would you rather have a beer with?
Ooh. I don't know if that was the first, but I remember doing. I've done that one a couple times actually. I need to bring it back because I really did that in 2021, and I I kind of stopped doing them, and I
Hmm.
felt like people got bored of them, and but people still come up to me like, "Hey, I always love the beer opening videos during COVID." I'm like, damn, that feels like a while ago.
All right, and then one last, we will do a blind ranking of 5 New York athletes that you have interviewed. I'll
Oh
start off
yeah.
number 1, CC Sabathia.
Wait, is this like how they were to interview or how they
Yeah,
are in their
good point.
career?
I'm gonna go as a player.
Okay, as a player. Ooh, CC, first ballot Hall of Famer, number retired. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go two.
Okay. Number
I'm
2,
gonna leave a
Garrett
little
Wilson.
wiggle room, but it's hard, you know. Garrett Wilson. I'm gonna say four.
Okay.
You know, Pro Bowl player, but Garrett Wilson hasn't played in the playoff game yet. By the way,
Yeah.
Garrett Wilson, great dude. Both CC and Garrett Wilson, but Garrett Wilson, just since Jake, I know you're Hunter, you're a Jets fan.
He's my
Um,
favorite athlete in all of sports.
great dude.
Yeah, I've gone to training camp the last 2 seasons, and the one guy I've wanted to meet so bad was him. And I've gotten Brees, I got Sauce before he was traded, and I couldn't get Rodgers 2 years ago, and I was trying so hard to get Brees, and I haven't been able to yet.
I'm sure you will one of these.
I
He's a
hope.
great guy.
Number 3, we'll go Aaron Judge.
I mean, I got to put him at one. I have to. I have to put him at one. I have to. That's the captain right there.
Yeah, you're doing pretty good with this.
All right,
4,
1, 2, 4.
and I think I know where this guy's gonna go. Jackson Dart.
Man, I have to put him at 3. So far, Garrett Wilson has accomplished more. I got to put him at 3. I can't put Garrett ahead of him. All right, 3.
I think you're gonna be pretty disappointed. Number 5,
I
Jalen
know I
Brunson.
am. Oh, yeah, yeah. Hey, you know what? If I switch Dart and Brunson,
That's what I was thinking.
that's a pretty good list. Or put Wilson at 5, and then yeah, but Brunson has to be probably 2 or 3 on that list.
I was thinking Judge, CC, Brunson, Garrett, and then Dart, just because he's only played like 10 or 11
I know.
games.
I'm a Giant.
Yeah,
Put my
exactly.
bias in
Yeah,
there. Put my
I
bias.
anticipate
Brunson
that.
has to be 3 on that. Brunson can't be 5. Oh, yeah. All right, you pulled out the heavy hitters.
Yeah, I was very excited for that one. That's all I've got for you. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Keep crushing
Let's
it,
go,
guys.
Knicks.
This is awesome. Let's go Knicks.
Thank
Go
you.
Yanks. Go
Got a while to
Giants,
the
right,
Giants,
Hunter?
but yeah.
And Jake, let's go Rangers.
Oh, I can't even. I don't want to talk about them.
We
I know.
we interviewed Johnny Lazarus a couple months back during the season. Hopefully gonna get him before during the off season again. They've got to get it going. They've got to rebuild this roster.
Jake, real quick. Brady Kachuk, yes or no?
Yes, 100%.
But if that means you're giving up Laffy, which means then you need to get another guy. Is it still yes?
Yeah.
Okay,
It would be,
I agree.
Okay, I would do some package around Lafreniere, Schneider, who's a restricted free agent, but you can still
Right.
trade him.
Right.
A prospect, not like a pro level prospect, but like a mid level prospect, and then like a
Right.
second round pick or something.
Yeah, I would do that.
I don't
would
know
do
if
that.
Ottawa's accepting that, but
They might not have a choice at this point. He seems like he wants out,
I think
and that
he
feels
wants
like
out.
a
I mean-
playoff caliber guy. But we would then need to go get someone else too.
No,
Or
obviously.
somewhere just Ottawa.
They've got money
South.
this offseason. So
I know.
I
know.
think he might go to Florida.
That'd be messed up. That would be messed up.
I've seen everything.
That's like
about
KD.
reuniting them.
Yeah, KD.
Yeah. Ugh, I hope not.
Yeah.
Thank you
All
guys. I really
Yep.
appreciate it.
That's all we've got. Thank you so much and have a great one.
Have a good one. Bye.